So what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Spanko, and today's video is going to be a little bit of raw. It's going to be just me kind of talking about the ban list. Now, as you guys saw, this ban list is now live, so it's April 7th. It's live now in the TCG. It was revealed to us after the YCS Houston, and I had, initial thoughts of the ban list. The reason I didn't want to do a reaction video, though, is because I really wanted to let it marinate, sit in my head, kind of understand what this ban list really does for the format, and I wanted to bring you guys more of a discussion video rather than a reaction video, because I wanted to talk about what this actually does for the format, like I mentioned, the good, the bad, because at first glance, I was in love with the ban list, if I'm being honest with you. I thought this was a great ban list, and then the more I looked into it, I was like, wow, I actually don't like this ban list that much. And I'll talk about that throughout the video, and you guys are going to understand a little bit more why I think that way. But let's get into what the ban list looks like first and foremost, and then once we kind of show you what the ban list looks like, or once we look at it together, then I'll be able to actually break down what I like and what I don't like. First things first, this doesn't matter. The unlimited section literally has no relevance in terms of whether it's good or bad right now, because this unlimited section I think is generally good. You know what? If we're gonna have to rate it on a scale of good to bad, this is on the good side. I mean, Danger Jackalope and Tsuchinoko are gonna make for some really fun things in the TCG. Monkey Board is gonna be cool as well for our Pepe players. Pepe is from 2016, guys, sorry. But for our Pendulum players in general, Eva and Cyberjar, I mean, Cyberjar was never going to be played anyways, right? So this is very irrelevant. Moving into the semi-limited section, and I'm going to be honest with you, when I first saw this, I was really excited. So, Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, as well as White Dragon Wyvern Buster is over here. Those are really cool. It gives Dragon Link and Dragon Decks a lot more options. Then we have X'd, Iced, and Sword Ryziel. So all three of the major Ryziel names are now at 2, which is very interesting, because that deck already had problems with consistency as a pure build. Now, as a Fiendsmith build, which is going to be one of the main talking points of today's video, but as a Fiendsmith build, it doesn't really hurt the deck that much. We'll talk about it, though, soon. But when we also have Malice P. Dormouse, Malice P. White Rabbit, and then we have Malice and Underground, those are also semi-limited, so it's going to hurt the consistency of Malice as well. And then you guys are going to see Snake Eye Ash and Snake Eye Poplar. Now, that's very interesting, because I think with 2 and 2, this deck is actually playable again. I mean, okay, we don't have Original, but you can still do some pretty cool things with Snake Eye now that Ash and Poplar are both at 2. I just find that this is a really interesting thing to bring back. I'm not sure why they did that now, but again, I don't think it has any relevancy. Then the last 2 cards are Morphing Jar and Unchained Soul of Shavara. Doesn't matter. Guys, don't worry about these two. Those don't matter too much. Now, in terms of the meta, though, meta implications, this section in general does have a really big meta implication. We'll talk about that again in just a minute once we finish up with this ban list. Next is the limited section. Jewish Worm is actually very important here. Jewish Worm being limited is, makes it so that the Bestial stuff can't just be splashed into everything. And I think Jewish Worm is one of the most broken cards in the game. So I think the Jewish Worm being at 1 is very good. I think in general, Bestial cards are not very healthy for the game, because I feel like when they were released, it was at a time where they needed to be released with the tier limit stuff. But then, I feel like they're just toxic against everything in the meta otherwise, right? So not just in the meta, actually, even rogue decks. Like, there's a lot of rogue decks that couldn't play strictly because Bestials existed, which was crazy. So Jewish Worm at 1 makes sense. Shifter at 1 is fine. It just means that no one's going to play it anymore. Masterpiece at 1 is going to be very interesting, because although we don't have all the floodgates that we used to, I still think True Draco could do some damage with Masterpiece, because now they have an actual boss monster that they can use. And then we have Mathmech Circular. Going to be fun for the Mathmech players. Ryziel Detonator is very interesting, because Ryziel already got hit. Oh, plus Bonfire, by the way. So Bonfire and Detonator. Ryziel already got hit. You guys saw all the names went to 2. But then now you're hitting Detonator to 1 and Bonfire to 1 is very interesting, because it makes it so that, the consistency is already down with 2 of each name. I mean, you do have the new 7th cards, but Bonfire being at 1 hurts. Detonator definitely hurts being at 1, because not being able to kind of go into the second one willy-nilly. The fact that you kind of have to, I mean, you could still recycling it. You have Eclipse Twin, and if you're playing plug-in in the pure builds, I guess. So it's still possible, but another thing that they hit on Ryziel, which is very indirect. I mean, Bonfire is technically an indirect hit, but Crossout Designator being at 1 is a huge hit. Now, this is not just for Ryziel, though. I mean, it does hurt Ryziel a lot, but it hurts Blue Eyes, which the pure builds, a lot of them were dependent on Crossout. Crossout in general, I think, is one of the best cards in the format. I think I've been on this card for a very long time, and it does hurt seeing Crossout at 1, especially against the rogue decks that lose to a lot of the multiple hand trap decks, like the decks that can play a ton of hand traps. Crossout does hurt. Crossout does hurt. Now, Brilliant Fusion is kind of cool. I mean, I don't know how many decks are going to be able to search Brilliant Fusion because Brilliant Fusion is actually an insane card. But then, what's the fusion that gets you an extra normal summon? Seraphinite? I don't know if I'm saying that right. But that card is still banned, so I guess Brilliant Fusion doesn't matter. Talent at 1 is interesting. I mean, cool. I know most people played. I mean, I saw a lot of decks playing at 2. I guess at 1 is cool. I guess you have thrust still, and you can thrust into it. So Talent as 1 is very interesting hit, I would say. I don't think it has too much implications. It's an interesting hit. Lastly, the Forbidden section. Nightmare Griffin is a big one, by the way. I love this one. This is actually one of the best hits of this entire ban list. Griffin was just a weird card that you lost to for nothing. Like, it was just a really bad card, so I don't like that. Link Decoder, cool. Dweller and Mohamed Shark. This was very, very, in my opinion, bad. Like, these are two incredibly poor hits. Now, Dweller, I could see the argument being made because you could say, okay, well, Dweller is one of those really toxic cards where it just lingers on the field and it kills graveyard decks and any rank 4 deck can play it. But you guys already hit, like you guys saw, they already hit Ryzeal like a crazy, crazy amount, which was the main rank 4 deck in the game. Now, don't get me wrong. I still think Ryzeal is going to be one of the best decks in the upcoming format. And I say that truly because I think that deck has a lot of potential. And not just because, I mean, yes, okay, all the cards got hit that we talked about, but you have the 7th cards, you still have the Fiendsmith cards. Like, guys, we're going to talk about the Fiendsmith in a second, but the Fiendsmith cards on their own are just absolutely insane. So Ryzeal is still playable. So the fact that Dweller kind of is gone, I think it's just too late for Dweller to go. Kind of, I don't know. For me, it kind of sucks. I just don't want to see it go. Bahamut Shark, though. What did Shark players do? Like, who was playing this other than the Shark players? And then you could argue there was a one-off Ryzeal deck that Jesse Khan played with the Sharks, but that deck didn't really kick off, and Bahamut Shark is now banned. What? You hit water decks because I'm assuming because Ryzeal, because I don't see any other situation where Bahamut Shark should have got hit. There's no meta deck in the game that was playing Bahamut Shark, so this one made no sense to me. I think this was a horrible hit in my opinion. But yeah, let's talk about the implications now that we've gone through it all. Specifically, I want to talk about the semi-limited section. I guess the limited section a little bit as well because Bonfire and Detonator, but this is kind of where the most changes happened. Now, we know in today's format, the meta really consists of Ryzeal, Malice, you guys see the Odeon deck creeping up here and there, and then Fiendsmith anything. And that's where the problem lies. Because I think these hits here are great hits. I'm not sure how I feel about Bonfire specifically going to 1. I guess Bonfire going to 1 makes up for Snake Eye, Ash, and Poplar coming back to 2 because if you wanted to play Snake Eye, you still don't have the Bonfire access now. You have 1, right? So I guess I could see that being the reason, but I'm going to be real with you. I think Fiendsmith was always the issue in the format. I don't think it was the Ryzeal cards. Malice, I guess, was... I mean... Honestly, I don't even know if they needed to hit Malice, I'm being honest with you. But if they wanted to hit it because they were like, you know, we're going to hit Malice and the Ryzeal kind of because they came out together, whatever, I can understand that. But if you look at all of the most favorable decks in today's format, whether it be Ryzeal, whether it be Blue Eyes, or not so much Blue Eyes, actually. Blue Eyes plays Primite, sorry. Forget that. Sorry, scratch that. But whether it be Ryzeal or any of the best decks in the format, it's Fiendsmith something. I've seen Fiendsmith Tenpai. I've seen a lot of just pure Fiendsmith variants I've seen. Fiendsmith with any other engine really just works very well. And it just doesn't make sense to me that they left it unscathed. I understand that Stampede is reprinting cards like Engraver, but Requiem does not need to say. Like, I just feel like the Fiendsmith stuff really was the core problem of the format. And unfortunately, we did everything except, acknowledge the core problem. An example I want to give, and this is something that I've been thinking about, an example that I want to give is, I don't know how long you guys have been playing, but there was a format, I think it was back in 2020, I might be wrong, but Firewall Dragon was just destroying the game. You had cards like, there's an FTK with Firewall Dragon actually, and part of the FTK was a Assault Core, which was an ABC card. And instead of Konami hitting Firewall Dragon at that time, they hit a Assault Core, making ABC completely unplayable. And then after a while, they're like, wait a second, hitting a Assault Core didn't do anything. Firewall Dragon's still an insane card. This is pre-Irada, by the way. So, they brought back they hit Firewall Dragon, and boom, the problem was actually gone. So this is why I feel like this ban list on second thought, like now that I've actually let it sink in, although it does a lot of really cool things, I think Jewish Worm to 1 makes a lot of sense. Shifter makes a lot of sense. You know, I even understand all of the Ryziel hits. I get it. Like all of these hits, I hate that crossout detonator at 1, but I understand why it's at 1. I think this card is insane. And even tactics, right? Talent. But I just don't understand why they would leave the Fiendsmith stuff untouched. And even worse than that, actually, with Jewish Worm gone or at 1 and Shifter at 1, I actually think Fiendsmith got stronger, if anything. Forget getting weaker, it got stronger. Because Shifter means that Fiendsmith can do all their stuff. And I completely forgot. Where'd it go? I completely forgot. Dweller's also banned. So Dweller was a really good card against Fiendsmith, and that's gone. So you just gave the best engine in the game, the core problem, in my opinion, in the game, a boost. Because this is gone, which they don't have to worry about anymore. Jewish Worm is at 1, which means it's less likely, I should say, not more likely. It's less likely that they're going to have a Jewish Worm for an engraver or something in the grave. Shifter is gone, which means that you're safe. The graveyard decks are safe. Ryziel, I mean, and Miles has hit a little bit, I guess, which were 2 decks that Fiendsmith played, or was being played in, but again, it's like, okay, it's not the Fiendsmith engine that got hit, and if every deck is weaker, then every deck's the same. That's the way I see it, guys. If every deck is weaker, then every deck is the same. And that's the part that throws me off. Fiendsmith Odeon was even a thing. Like I'm seeing people play Fiendsmith Odeon, and so I feel like what this list did really was just kind of double down on the Fiendsmith format, which I really don't enjoy. Like I really think these were all great hits. I watched it live. Like by the way, I watched this live and I was like, wow, this is a great ban list. I'm seeing a lot of different changes. I'm seeing a lot of hits. It's gonna make a lot of different cool things back. Like it's gonna bring it back. They're gonna make him better. But then I'm like, there's not a single Fiendsmith card. Lockroom is not at 1. Engraver's not at 1. Requiem's not banned. Luri's not banned. Tract is nothing. Like Tract's still at 3. And that's my biggest gripe with it, guys. If I'm being honest with you, that's my biggest gripe with it. At the end of the day, I feel like they had one job, and if they could have done a really good job, if they just hit the Fiendsmith stuff, they could have honestly fixed this entire format. This exact same list, but then imagine this with like Requiem banned or Desiree. Or Sequence. Like, something would have been great. But the fact that we got nothing hit on the Fiendsmith engine is crazy because I can already tell that the next format is literally just going to be Fiendsmith anything. If you guys are playing any engine in the game, throw Fiendsmith into it, and it's safe. And that's the biggest problem I have with this ban list, and that's my takeaway, and that's why I think, although I personally got excited when I first saw it, and I'm seeing a lot of reactions, on a lot of actually, you know what? Hold up. I'm gonna show you guys something. I'm actually looking at this because at first I saw a lot of positive reaction to this, but now I'm looking at this and I'm seeing a lot of bad reactions, which is funny. Okay, I mean Bear and Savage were never coming back, but I don't know. I feel like at first it was good. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, I agree with a lot of this. Like, okay, you didn't need to bring Electromite back to make it a good ban list. You didn't need to bring back other cards to make it a good ban list. I want Misk to 2. I mean, all of the dinos are getting reprinted in Stampede. If you're gonna make Stampede as an argument as to why Fiendsmith didn't get hit, then you should also make it an argument as to why Misk didn't come back to 2 or 3, because that's being reprinted in Stampede. There's a lot of cards being reprinted in Stampede. Masterpiece is another one of them, and it came back to 1. So I don't know. Let me know how you guys feel about this in the comment section down below. Honestly, if I'm being 100% real with you, I think this ban list, on a scale of 1 to 10, could have been legitimately a 10. Griffin is a great hit. I don't know how I feel about these two, but generally, I think this ban list could have been the best ban list in a very long time. And them just strictly not addressing Fiendsmith whatsoever, and also randomly hitting the shark stuff, puts it down for me. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. That's all I have to say. I was excited for this list, and all of a sudden, I don't know how I feel about the next format. Because, I mean, Blue Eyes is still relevant, Odeon is still relevant, but Fiendsmith is going to be everywhere, and that's scary. So thank you guys all for watching. I appreciate you all. With that, Spanko signing out. Peace.